Hello, University of Washington. My name is Lucas Graham, and this is my dream school. This is where I would love to be a part of the athletic program here. Learning how your operations work here at the school I've seen what you guys have done out on the competition field, and I'd love to be a part of it. Being a part of strength and conditioning program has been a dream of mine, and I think that University of Washington is very well set up and established for a good strength and conditioning program where I can come in and I can make a big difference when it comes to working with athletes and being one-on-one with them and working through whatever problems they're working through, whether it's injury or whether it's trying to get just a little bit stronger, gain that edge on their competitor. I think that I'd be a great fit here. I've grown up in the Washington area, and I absolutely love Washington. I love University of Washington, and so I'd love to be a part of the program here. So let's just jump right in, and we'll be able to look at my philosophy and what I think is the best approach to building a good sports program through strength and conditioning. So the first thing we're going to look at here is sports analysis, in the energy systems. So I'm a 1500 meter race runner, so that's kind of the viewpoint I'm going to come from, just to give you more of a specific spin on what I'm talking about here. Instead of talking about a big, broad sports aspect, I want to concentrate specifically on the 1500 meter race. So here I have a table that talks about the specific time it takes to get from the phosphagen system into the fast glycolysis system, into the fast glycolysis and oxidative system. So as I'm sure all of you know, the 1500 meter race is a middle distance race. So that means it requires a very special combination between speed and endurance. And so that means that as we go through our energy systems, we're not just using one primarily. We're not just using one, but we are more highly concentrated in one energy system. So in the first 15 seconds of your race, just to jump off the line and get that quick start, we're going to be using our phosphagen system. This is going to get us out and get us in a powerful start to our race, get us out past the first couple runners, is going to allow us to slide right into the inside lane and get a good position as you go on through the race. Next is going to be pretty much the bulk of our race is going to be in the fast glycolysis system, and that is going to be from anywhere from 15 seconds to 2.5 minutes, and that's going to maintain you through the first lap, through the second lap, and into the third lap. As you start to develop that lactic acid buildup, you're going to go through your fast glycolysis system, and then you're going to transfer into your fast glycolysis / oxidative state. And that oxidative state is more when we get into the endurance. So that's when you're coming into your finish and everything's coming down on you. You feel like you hit that wall. That's when we're going into our oxidative system, and we're able to see more of a determination to finish out the races. Is usually what we see in runners as they come in through the last 200 meters as they build into their finish. We're seeing a lot more of the oxidative system. Switch on to the next. So sports analysis, movement. So here, I mean, running is a large scale of joints and levers, and your body's just working together more or less, and it's going through all of this range of motion through knee flexion, elbow flexion, trunk rotation. We're going through many different many different movements here. And so here we've got the patellofemoral sacral joint, so that's your knee, and we're going to just this is a pretty extensive list of what is actually going on in the body and what we can really try to focus on. And knowing these is going to be really important in being able to develop that strength and that conditioning in those specific muscle groups. And so if we can break it down and we can see exactly what's happening at each level of the athletic movement, then we can go on and see what can we strengthen, what can we work with, what are things that we can make better to give that athlete the edge. So go ahead and move on. So sports analysis and injuries, see cross country and track, specifically the 1500 meter race, you'll see a wide array of injuries as the runner moves on and progresses through their training. You'll see a lot of overuse injuries such as stress fractures, such as shin splints. I've got 3 here, Achilles tendon strains, hamstring strains. A lot of this is very typical and in distance running, and so that's a huge part of being a strength and conditioning coach, is that I would be able to look at these specific injuries that I see happening in my runners, and we're going to target those issues, to target those muscle groups so that we can make them stronger and we can make them work better for that specific task that their body is requiring. And so this would help us build and build and build onto the athletic body so that we can make a stronger body as a whole, and that we can just create a stronger athlete so that they don't have to go through these large amounts of injury periods, so that they can continue to get better and continue to get faster. Next is test selection. So here we have test number 1, a skin fold test of body composition. So this is where we can look at the athlete, we can take a skin fold from them, and we can measure that skin fold, and we can determine the body fat composition of that athlete, so we can see if they're in the appropriate ranges that we would like to see for a 1500 meter racer. And next test is sit and reach, flexibility. Next test we see is number 3 is 400 meter sprint. Like I said, the 1500 meter race is a very strange race. It's a very different combination between speed and endurance. And so we want to see that that runner has a lot of foot speed so that they can catch those people in the last 200 meters or get a good jump off the line. Next is partial curl up. So that's, I want to see that they've got good core strength. And then also the 1.5 mile run. And so that's where the endurance part comes into the training. So this would be a really good thing for a coach to be able to look at and see exactly where that runner's at, so they can determine what they need to strengthen and what they need to work on to make the runner better as a whole. Next, I'd like to talk about special considerations. So this is really important. Some of the things that we need to look at when we're looking specifically at the 1500 meter race is that we want to see speed. We want to see agility, and we want to see plyometrics. So a good plyometrics setup, so that we can work on all of those different range of motions, make sure that we're not staying linear, but we're actually doing some side-to-side movement, so we can strengthen hips, we can strengthen all those other stabilizer muscles, so that we see a lot less injury as the season progresses. So these are some things that we need to especially consider. The next special consideration is footwear. That's very important. That's one of the absolute most important things for a runner, is footwear. Good footwear is crucial. Here we have a trainer. So this is something that a runner would use every day as they go out for their long run, as they go to build that endurance. See, it's got a thicker heel, and you want to make sure that none of this is broken down. A lot of runners tend to stay in their shoes for too long, and they break down that foam over and over again every day, and that cushion goes away. And so we need to make sure that they're in good, solid shoes that are going to be able to last them through their season. Next we have a spike. So this is a racing spike. As you see here, you see this curve right here. This is called the front plate of the shoe, and we want to see a good curve right here. Nike makes some excellent spikes that create a good roll onto the front of their toe box, so that they can get a good push off. And then next we have our road running shoes. These are training shoes, but also racing shoes. So they're thin, and they're able to be used in a race setting, but also they provide that cushion through right here in that sole. So my worldview, this is just a verse that I really like, and something that I work through as I am a collegiate athlete. I was a collegiate athlete, and so this is a verse that really hit home to me. 1 Corinthians 9:27. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself might not be disqualified for the prize. So this is, I think, is a very interesting verse as Paul talks about this. We are able to see that putting your body through the test and training and putting yourself through rigorous training is very important, because we don't want ourselves to become lazy, and we don't want ourselves to become complacent so that we are disqualified for the prize. So, and here I've got my references. These are crucial references that I've looked through to help me mold my own training philosophy, and things that I look at constantly to remind myself of the reasons why certain training philosophies work and some don't. So those are my references, and I just want to say a big thank you. And that's my presentation. I thank you so much for the opportunity to come here and interview for this position. It's an honor to be here, and I really hope that I've given you some things that you can consider and think about as you consider this position. Thank you.